Coming in hot from Arizona, this is Trevor
and Troy Howard.
And you're on So Tell Us Time. You can have everything you want in your business. Sometimes you just need a little help.
Every business owner would love to charge more for their services, but sometimes you can sacrifice long-term loyalty for a short-term profit.
Creating the right rituals is key to your business having success.
Are you tired of competing with your competitors? Guess what? You don't have to compete if you create.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of So Tell Us Time. We're so excited, or I guess I should say I'm so excited to be here with you today. We are just blowing up. We are growing like crazy. We've got events. We're into event season. There's a lot of travel going on. And as you can see, again, if you're on YouTube, Troy is not here. So it is just me, but I hope that is okay because we've got a great episode for you guys today. We're talking about maximize marketing because in a lot of businesses, you would be surprised that people spend the minimum or the least amount in their marketing. But we want to be talking about maximizing your marketing. And there's a theme that we see over and over and over again. So we'll kind of get into that theme that we see a little bit later. But maximizing marketing is absolutely imperative. And people look at it like this. They say, well, I'm going to put so much towards this avenue of revenue, right? So we call it an avenue of revenue. It's an avenue of marketing. It's a lane of marketing. So that could be SEO, PPC, that could be mailers, door hangers, people making cold calls for you, your staff calling out, sales reps. So whatever that is, you've got these different ways of marketing your business, commercials even, or billboards. But people have these different ways, avenues of revenue, avenues to create revenue, and they allocate a budget to each one of those things. And here's what's crazy about that is they will keep it that budget forever and they'll never touch it. If they're like, oh, it worked. I've got a return on my investment. Woo, woo, woo. I'm so excited. Well, we're going to be talking about changing that, shattering that mindset. Okay. So the first thing about your marketing is you have to identify the different types of marketing that you're actually doing. And that might sound crazy. You might say, Trevor, what are you talking about? Of course you have to identify the types of marketing. What company doesn't know the types of marketing that they're doing? Well, I will tell you this. Surprisingly enough, we walk into businesses all the time and they're like, oh, I just really built my whole business off of referrals, and things like that. So, it's repeat customers. And so it's like, oh, okay, so you're not doing any kind of marketing at all. And they're like, well, I don't know. And so we start looking into it. We dive in and it's like, oh, no, they're running some PPC ads. And okay, well, that's marketing. It's an avenue of revenue. They are doing mailers. Okay, that's an avenue of revenue. They're doing door knockers. They have people literally going out and knocking on doors and introducing their business to people, residential people at their homes. They might be doing SEO. They might have people picking up the phone and calling. They might be doing email marketing. They have all these different avenues of revenue. They have all these different avenues of marketing, and they didn't even realize it. So yes, when I say that the first thing to do is to confirm or identify all the different types of marketing that you're doing, yes, you do need to do that first. So first, identify all those. Look through your business and say, okay, where are we spending money to generate customers? That is an avenue of marketing, okay, and a potential avenue of revenue. The next thing you have to do is identify the budget. What are you spending on each one of these avenues of marketing, right? How much are you spending? Because that's the next thing is they're like, oh, I guess we were running ads. I didn't even know that. Oh, I guess we were doing social media ads. I didn't even know that. Boosts. Some people don't even realize that if you make a post on your social media and you boost it, that is still an avenue of marketing. Your door knockers, your mailers, phone calls, email marketing, whatever that is. Events. Maybe you go to events. Okay. Those are all avenues of marketing. So you need to find out and identify your current budget for each one of these lanes. Okay. Then the question comes down to increasing, well, what's working? So identify what's working and what you're like, hey, I like this. I spend this much money and I gain this much back. So identify what's working and then increase that budget. So I guess the question comes to some of you is going to be, have you increased the budget on the marketing strategies that are working? And probably a lot of you are going to say no, because people will take, like, let's say PPC. They'll take a couple $1,000s and they'll get a return on investment. It'll work well. They're happy. And that's all they do. But that works for a time. But you're going to have new competitors come into the industry. You're going to have people spending more money than you. And eventually those ads aren't going to work as well as they did before. And so first off, we want to get ahead of that. Before you're having a problem with a competitor taking business away from you in a certain avenue of marketing, right? A marketing strategy, maximize that. Have you hit the ceiling? Find the ceiling. And what I mean by that is you are going to spend a certain amount of money on a different marketing strategy, on different marketing strategies. And you're going to increase those budgets slowly, and you're going to track everything. Yep. And we're going to get to that in just a minute too about tracking. But then you're going to find a place, which we call the ceiling, that you're no longer going to make any more money. Okay. So finding the ceiling, the first thing that you have to do is identify the ceiling. You have to get to the ceiling. That means you have to start spending more money to reach the ceiling. Then identify that ceiling and say, okay, more money doesn't always mean more profit. Okay, so we kind of did two things there. The first thing is to identify the ceiling. That means to actually spend more money on the marketing that is working. Then the second thing that you have to do is you have to identify that ceiling and say, okay, I was spending $2,000. Now I'm spending $5,000 and I'm still making more money. That's awesome. I was spending $5,000. Now I'm spending $10,000. Ooh, and I'm making more money. Okay, great. Now I'm spending $15,000 and nope. You know what? I'm not getting any more leads. I'm not making any more money. Boom. $15,000 is your ceiling. Okay. And that's where you want to be spending. You want to be maximizing that marketing strategy, getting the most from it, spending the most to make the most. And I'll give you an example. So like we do PPC for So Tell Us, our video review platform that also gets like Google reviews, Facebook reviews, helps get referrals and lead gen for our clients. Well, we started out spending $1,500 a month. Then as it started to work and we got a return on investment, I increased that to like $3,500 a month. And then I went to like $5,000 and then I went to $7,000. And Troy was kind of like, he's the money man, right? He's like, oh, hey, we're starting to spend a lot of money. And I said, I know, but watch, we know our numbers and we're making money. And he's like, yes, I love that, because he's a numbers guy for sure. He taught me to be a numbers guy. So we started increasing it more. Then 10,000, 12,000, 15,000, 17,000, 18,000, 20,000, 21, 22. We went up to $30,000. Nope. Here's the thing is, at $30,000, we weren't making any more money than we were at $25,000. So we found that our ceiling for that product was somewhere between $21,000 and $25,000 a month. And that's where we maximized how many leads we got for that product and how many sales we got and our return on investment. That's where we made the maximum amount of money. So that's where we have sat for a very long time. Okay, so that is the key. The first thing we're going to do is identify the different types of marketing strategies that we're currently doing. We're going to identify the current budget that we have for each one of those strategies. And then we're going to maximize that budget. So we're going to start incrementally spending more money, and we're going to find that ceiling. And then we're going to live there. We're going to live there and we're going to maximize profits, which is going to be awesome. And you guys are going to love it. And so here's how it kind of works out is we had a client that was spending a total of $3,500 in marketing a month. They were generating a minimum of $40,000 off of their $3,500 a month. And so that was awesome. In fact, they actually had many a months where they generated close to like $150,000 or even sometimes more than that off of that same $3,500. Now they called up one day and they said, hey, we really like to get more leads and get more jobs because we're kind of lean a little bit. And we were like, okay. And so we went and looked and we were like, well, you still did $50,000 this month. That's phenomenal. And they're like, well, no, that's good, but we want more. And I said, okay, great. So let's increase the budget. You guys are only spending, and specifically they were spending $2,000 of the $3,500 on PPC. I said, let's increase the budget. I mean, it makes sense. You guys are having a great return on investment. It's excellent. And so let's double the budget. Why not? If we double the budget, let's see if we double the profits. That's phenomenal. $4,000 with Google. And if you guys go from an average of 40 minimum to 80 minimum and an average and on a high end of 150 to 350, that's awesome. And you're spending $4,000 with Google. And they were like, oh, well, I don't know if I want to do that. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? It's working. This is phenomenal. It's time to find the ceiling. We want to spend the most. Can we get it up to where you're spending $10,000 a month with Google, but making $750,000? You know, like that would be amazing. And they were like, well, we'll have to think about that. And so we had to explain to them, like, look, we went through it a couple of times and we showed them everything. They were like, okay, yeah, you're right. We need to sit down. Let's do this. Let's increase the budget. So we sat down with them and we went through everything. We looked at it and then they increased the budget and it worked out really well for them. Because when something's working well, you should naturally just want to spend more to make more. It's never going to be, well, now that it's working well, I'm going to spend less and I'm going to start making more. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Everybody's a business. Google is a business. They are going to spend your money and they want to spend your money. They're not going to give you more for less. Okay. So the last thing that you need to do in this whole strategy is track everything. And I told you earlier, we're going to talk about that later. Now's the time. Track everything. You guys need to be using a lead management and automation system that has reporting and tracking. Like when you have a lead management system that is a good one that works well, it's also going to have automation. It's going to make your life better. It's going to make your life easier. It's going to make your staff's life easier. And then when it has that tracking and reporting feature to it as well, you are going to feel very comfortable increasing your budget on your marketing strategies because you are going to feel very confident that you're going to continue to make more and more money until you find that spot where you don't. And that's perfect because that's where you want to be. But you need to maximize your conversion on your leads. So that's why you want to have a lead management system that tracks and automates, because with the automation, it's going to help you close more. With the tracking, it's going to give you that confidence to know that you're doing a really good job, that your staff is doing a really good job in converting, and that you can continue to spend more money. That's it, guys. Like that formula right there will 100% increase your business. But get out of the mindset that I don't want to spend money to make money. I don't want to do that. Well, then you're not going to succeed. You're going to continue to struggle and claw your way to the top when you could be, making it a lot easier for yourself. So let's go over the homework for this week. Don't be afraid. Do not be afraid to increase your marketing budget on the strategies that are working. That is what I'm challenging you to do this week. Sure, you're going to go through, you're going to identify what you're currently doing for marketing. Then you're going to identify what the budget is for that. And then you're going to start increasing that budget. And you're going to be confident because you're tracking it. Now, if you don't know how to track it, well, then get a hold of us, because that's something that we can help you with. Shameless little plug there for us, okay? So tell us, connect. It's amazing. Get a hold of us. We will help you guys track everything and automate everything, which is going to be phenomenal for your business. But I promise you that there is more money out there. There are more jobs, and there are easier ways to get to them, as well as close them. And then it's on your side to actually fulfill. So, all right, guys, we love you. We appreciate you. And we will catch you guys on the next episode of So Tell Us Time.